My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Just like in yesterday's Mass and the day before's Mass, Monday and Tuesday, we continue with what you are telling us, Jesus, during the Last Supper. Monday's Gospel comes from chapter 15 of John's Gospel. Yesterday's Gospel comes from chapter 16, the first part of chapter 16 of John's Gospel. And today we continue on with John chapter 16. Since we've already been talking about those passages in the last 2 days, let's continue on. I have yet many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now. When the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide you into all the truth. For he will not speak on his own, but whatever he hears he will speak, and he will declare to you the things that are to come. He will glorify me, for he will take what is mine and declare it to you. All that the Father has is mine. Therefore I said that he will take what is mine and declare it to you. Well, Lord, as usual in the Gospel of John, but especially in all this language about the Spirit of truth, there's just a lot of kind of confusing phrases and repetition of words. And after one read, really, we feel like we knew less than we started out with. So in order to understand what you're telling us, Lord, let's just go back and read it slowly and see if we can make sense of this. So you're talking to your apostles. You're there with them in the upper room. And you tell them that you still have many things that you want to say to them, but that they cannot bear it now. Well, Lord, when's the next chance? When are you going to get a chance to explain it to them? Because it's the Last Supper. It's Holy Thursday. And we know what happens after that. You go with your apostles out to the garden, then you get arrested, you get falsely convicted, crucified, laid in a tomb, and you're dead. It was the last chance you would have to explain anything to them. Of course, Lord, especially if we go to Luke chapter 24, we see how you speak with your apostles and you speak with your disciples and you open the scriptures to them. So you did have further opportunities to continue speaking with them. But Lord, it doesn't seem like here in John chapter 16, you are referring to those later opportunities that you will have to continue teaching your disciples. It seems like you're referring to something even more difficult, even more complicated, that they won't be able to handle until the Spirit of truth comes. That's why you say, when the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide you into all the truth. All right, so they're going to have to wait until Pentecost, until they actually come to understand all of Revelation. But wait a second, Lord. That's problematic. Is there revelation after you? Is there revelation other than you? I thought you are God's revelation of himself to us. You are God, and you reveal yourself to us. How can there be more revelation beyond you? But the Holy Spirit isn't going to be saying anything new. He's not going to be adding anything beyond, Jesus, what you have revealed to us. You yourself say that. You say that the Holy Spirit will not speak on his own, but whatever he hears, he will speak. He will glorify you, Lord. The Holy Spirit will glorify you, for he will take what is yours and declare it to the apostles. And then, Lord, you say that you clarify that which is yours comes from the Father. And that's how you finish this passage, Lord. You say that all that the Father has is mine. Therefore, I said that the Holy Spirit will take what is mine and declare it to you. So the Holy Spirit doesn't make anything new. The Holy Spirit doesn't make up anything new to reveal to the apostles. He takes from what he hears. He takes from what is yours, Lord. He takes from what is the Father's. And the Holy Spirit will declare that to the apostles. This reminds me a lot, Lord, of when I was taking physics in college, a class on electromagnetism. And I remember leaving every single lecture with my mind blown, and not in a good sense. I was totally lost, totally confused, very much overwhelmed by every lecture. The worst days were not the days that I was overwhelmed while the professor was teaching. The worst days were the days that I thought I was actually understanding what he was saying. Then I'd go home, start the problem set, and be more confused than ever before. At the moment of the professor's lecture, I could not bear the complexity of the electromagnetic physics that he was teaching us. Instead, I had to wait for that good graduate student teacher's assistant who led the small group sections. Every week we would have the lectures, and we would also have small group sections. And during those small group sections, that awesome graduate student would explain to us what the professor had said in class. But she would go more slowly, patiently. She would anticipate and address the points that would be most confusing to us. And sometimes she would even go further than what the professor had said in the lectures based on her own studies and research under the auspices of that professor. And then she would even give us tips for the upcoming exam. That seems to be the same dynamic of how you describe the Holy Spirit, Lord. Because you say you have more things to tell your apostles, but that they can't bear it now. But when the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide the apostles to all the truth. Same thing with the graduate student. I wasn't able to understand what the professor was saying in the lectures. It was overwhelming. It was confusing. But when I finally would make it to the small group section, the graduate student would lead me to understand what the professor had been saying in the class, and she would prepare me for the test. She didn't make up her own talking points or just randomly start teaching some other material. Instead, she just repeated what the professor had said, but she said it more slowly, more patiently, thinking about how we would get confused. She didn't have her own message. She merely repeated what she heard. And she would even, in a certain sense, reveal what was coming. She would get us ready for the exam. But she would take from what was the professor's and declare it to us. Everything that was the professor's was hers, and everything that was hers was coming from the professor. The Holy Spirit is our teacher. And when we feel like we don't understand what God is giving us, maybe we can turn to the Holy Spirit, and he will give us understanding. He will give us peace. He will help us to understand God's working in our lives. Mary, full of grace, overshadowed and filled by the Holy Spirit, help us to be docile to the action of the Paraclete in our souls. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.